What is up, is Coffee, and you see we're talking Suboxone. Before we carry on, just out of curiosity, everyone, hit the comments. Let me know, are you on Suboxone? Have you been on Suboxone? Do you know what Suboxone is? Like, do you know someone that's on it? Do you know about it? Or never taken it? Whatever, just out of curiosity, just for discussion on the topic. You know, it can be a life-saving, life-changing thing. You know, when individuals get themselves in so deep, they get sick, they can't get clean. It's could be that light, not at the end of the tunnel, but to get you out of that darkness, man. When addiction just has you so down in the depths of depression, your brain ain't even working right no more. It's short-circuiting. It's just a motherfucker, right? Well, Suboxone has now become brought into the discussion of the death of Matthew Perry.
Was getting into his hot tub Matthew Perry's fatal error? We're learning today that an ingredient in a prescription medication he was apparently taking, Suboxone, can have life-threatening side effects if ingested while taking long baths in hot water. Suboxone is prescribed to recovering drug addicts to help reduce their dependence on opioids. Perry talked about the drug in his memoir.
Half the doctors I speak to say I should be on Suboxone for at least a year, but probably the rest of my life. It's very difficult to get all the way off it either way, which is ironic because it's a drug used to get you off other drugs.
Suboxone is said to be very effective, but it has serious potential side effects, including shallow breathing and an irregular heartbeat. And if Matthew Perry was using a patch version of the medication, getting into a hot tub could cause it to be absorbed into the body faster, which, according to the drug maker's warning, could lead to an overdose.
He was happy and chipper.
Friends co-creator Marta Kaufman is paying tribute to Perry. She tells the Today Show that she spoke to him just days before he died.
He seemed better than I had seen in a while. I was so thrilled to see that. He was emotionally in a good place. He looked good. He quit smoking.
Do you know if he was sober at that point?
Yes, he was sober.
Friends made Matthew Perry a multimillionaire. He was said to be worth an estimated $120 million when he died, and was still being paid $20 million every year in residuals. He wasn't married and didn't have kids. So who gets all his money? Herb Nass is an estate attorney.
If he doesn't have a will or a trust in place, under the law there, it would revert to his parents. So even though his parents were divorced, each of his mother and father would get one half of his estate.
Man, y'all heard that? 120 million estimation at his death, but 20 M's a year off them residuals from Friends, which I had brought up in a previous video about when Friends hit syndication. I mean, when Friends was going on and it really started taking off, the cast members made sure, you know, when they got to the paperwork and the contracts and all that, that they cashed out and got paid like they weighed. You know, they were like, listen, this is a #1 show. We want to keep this thing going. We love it, but you got to pay us. You know, they weren't quiet about it. They got their bread. Good for them. You know, again, too, anyone binge watching the show now since his passing. I brought that up in another video too, how I never got into Friends like that. I watched it here or there, and in this age of binge watching stuff, I don't know, I see people making videos about Friends. I don't know, but I haven't really got into it. But if anyone is binge watching it since his passing, just curious, you know. But anyways, they made sure to get paid right when the show was going on, and then when the show hit syndication, where networks picked it up to play the reruns, you know, they got to send that cash, that money, over to the show, which gets broken down and dispersed properly to everyone. And seen he was getting 20 million a year off that, and no wife, no kids. Will it go to his parents? I don't know. I'm waiting for some content creator to come out here and be like, his parents did it. His parents killed him to get the money. They had gambling debts, or they're about to lose their house, some crazy-ish like that. And for the record, that's a joke. I'm clowning. I don't believe that or nothing like that. I'm just saying, you know, the way the internet goes, the internet is undefeated. Motherfuckers will come with the fuckery and lies. But with this whole Suboxone theory, I don't know. I don't buy it. I mean, first off the rip, this man had been going in the jacuzzi regularly. His last social media post eerily was him in the jacuzzi a week before. It was so crazy to me to see that. Like, this man drowns in a jacuzzi a week ago. He was doing his thing in the jacuzzi, you know, and there's people commenting saying they felt it was weird in his recent IG posts. I did a video on that as well if y'all want to go back through and check it out, going over some of his final social media activity. He kept saying Batman, referencing like Batman and calling himself Madman, and there's people saying like, oh, he was trying to tell us something. I don't know, but yeah, you've been going in the jacuzzi on the regular, so all of a sudden now it just has this negative side effect that interacts with the Suboxone and puts him out to where he falls out and falls asleep in the jacuzzi. I just don't think so. And personally, I'm gonna keep it real, like I was talking about in the video in the beginning about Suboxone, just out of curiosity, everyone out there's knowledge of it. I've shared before, I ain't ashamed to say it, I'm on Suboxone, been on Suboxone for a grip. You heard that little clip where that was like some AI-ish. They used his voice talking about how we'll probably be on it for life. I'm not gonna lie, it's hard to get off. It is not easy. I take very, very little doses. Some people take a whole strip. Some people take multiple ones to get by or whatever. But the crazy thing is they say if you take little pieces, it's actually harder to wean off than taking bigger pieces, you know, because when you're taking them little ones, there becomes a point where there's nothing between the little and just nothing. You know, like doctors actually will tell you to go up before you wean yourself down at times. It's crazy. Like he was talking about, it's something used to keep people clean, and like it's hard to get off itself. But ultimately, at the end of the day, if you take it right and you're not abusing it, it's way better than being out there flucked up, ruining your life in full-blown addiction and all that. You know, you'll never live a normal lifestyle like that. These maintenance drugs can help people live a normal lifestyle and think about regular important life decisions and things of that nature, that when they're on that day-to-day, how am I going to get high? I don't want to be sick type vibes. You never think about. That's all you can think about, you know? And I also like being on it because I'm in a health condition where pain medicine I would be on, and I don't want to go that route. I like to just stick with the maintenance drug because it helps with that as well. But ultimately, someday, I don't know, I'll probably want to get off it. But anyways, you know, getting back to Matthew Perry, I was surprised to hear that he was on it as well, because from my understanding, as when he passed away, I didn't really ever know this dude had a drug addiction. And then, you know, from chopping it up with everyone out there having that good coffee talk, thank you everyone always for tapping in, watching the videos, joining the discussion. And that's what it's all about over here. If you're new, talking on these different topics, music, sports, news, and much more. So make sure to like the video and subscribe and join the discussion. But some viewers, part of Team Coffee, enlightened me like, yo, Coffee, this guy was smoking crack, 7-gram rocks in the stem. He had the big boy stem, getting high the whole time he was on Friends. So I was like, damn, are they giving him, like, did they give him Suboxone for being on uppers and cocaine? I mean, it's more of an opiate thing, unless maybe he got into abusing opiates later on. I don't know. But I have heard of people using Suboxone for other reasons, like antidepressant, and even with alcohol, I've heard of it being, you know, administered and prescribed to people and stuff like that. But that just really isn't making sense to me that that's what did him in. But one thing I will say is they were talking about a patch version of Suboxone, which I'm not familiar with, you know. There's many different variations of it, generic forms of it. I've heard of a shot, all kinds of different stuff out there. So anyone, if you are familiar with the patch version, let me know. Let me, if you know, if you've ever heard of it having interactions with people and stuff like that, and hot baths, and I don't know, you know, listen, I don't read all the literature to all the meds that I take, or I'm sure everyone else out there doesn't, or maybe doesn't do as much research as we should. But as you know, when it comes to all this stuff and the FDA, you got a damn manuscript to read with anything you take, and it's guaranteed everything has a side effect. It's just wild, man. That's big Pharma for you. And I'm not a dummy. I know it's really Pharma, but, you know, just that's how I'm doing it. But to me, yeah, I'm just not really buying it. I don't think that's what it is. Tap in, everyone, share your thoughts. We're going to have to wait and see if any more stuff, you know, surfaces in the news. One thing I will say, and I'm not trying to put this out on him, you know, I'm just throwing it out there. Suboxone can have some very bad interactions with certain medicines. And if you do relapse and stuff like that, it can really fuck you up. I mean, this stuff really changes the chemistry of your brain, your receptors and dopamine levels. It's very scientific in, you know, body chemistry, the human body. You know, there's a lot to it. But I don't know. That's all about I got. Stay tuned for updates. And, you know, also, again, let me know your thoughts on Suboxone, on this theory, on addiction. Let's talk about it all. That's what we do. Again, we coffee talk it up. Thanks for tuning in, guys. And I'm gone.